outside and kind of come on over. Y'all come down. I want to thank Speaker Philip Gillier for being here. I really appreciate the leadership you've shown going around Louisiana like you have. Thank you for being here in Lake Charles, Geography Parish. And his colleagues, as Representative Troy Romero and Representative Les Farnham, who are in the Southwest Louisiana delegation. Thank you, Sheriff. Mayor Nick Hunter, I see you. Thank you for being here. Judge Davis, where are you? Oh, there you are.
I got your back.
Well, thank you, sir. I want to thank all of y'all for being here. Mayor. Frankenstein, thank you for being here, sir. And where's the police chair?
Please, your president.
Thank you, sir, for being here. The police chair has been an exceptionally important part of this. And so has the Lake Charles City Council. Great partners to work with.
Judge Guillory.
Where's Judge Guillory? So thank you for being here. I apologize.
I had to come harass Harry.
Of course. Thank you for being here. Thank all of y'all for being here. Including some of my district defenders from around Louisiana, Kyle Romanek from Baton Rouge, Tricia Ward from Evangeline, Dee Dee Fuller from Rapides, Mickey Enderpont from Caddo, Montella Baker from St. John Parish, and Tanya Clark from Ascension, Assumption, and St. James. So thank y'all for being here. This is a big day, and this is an example of good things that can happen for a community. David Marcantel from Jeff Davis Parish, thank you for being here. When people work together. Like I said, this was a partnership between the state of Louisiana, the parish police jury, and the city of Lake Charles, along with public defenders, to address a real need. And here's what happens. Public defenders traditionally have been kind of transient and on the periphery of the criminal justice system. It's never supposed to have been that way. When people are accused of crimes and can't afford a lawyer, the United States Supreme Court said they have a right to counsel. In Louisiana, we represent over 88% of all people accused of crimes. The criminal justice system cannot function without a functioning public defender's office. We have funding issues. Everybody's familiar with that. Principally related to sources of funds. Our primary source of funds are conviction user fees, which take money off the backs of the most vulnerable users of the system. And those are very hard to predict, and they're not very consistent. We get supplement from the state of Louisiana. We could not function without the state supplement, because our primary funding source, which are those 8 statutes, only comprise about 35% of system-wide expenditures. Over 50% is the state supplement we get from House Bill 1. Could not function without it. The whole criminal justice system could not function without that. And one of the problems we have, I talk about the transient nature of the offices, is sometimes police jury someplace be kind enough to give us a place in the courthouse. Sometimes we're able to find something to rent. But that's money that's taken away from hiring lawyers and retaining lawyers who represent people in court. Police jury was kind enough to rent us a building that y'all had in front of your offices for a while, and we appreciate that, but the storm took it away. And we didn't have a place at all. Police jury stepped up again, gave us temporary space across the courthouse above the park garage for a little while. We couldn't have operated without that. Thank you. Thank you. But that was only temporary. And then Jack McFarland of Wynn Parish called me and said that he had an idea about a building fund, something that he saw was a way to get money to the public defender's office, stabilize maybe some physical situations with a permanent office, and keep us from paying rent, so we could take that money and hire lawyers and to represent people. That was a multi-year long process, and the legislature never wavered. I want to thank the Southwest Louisiana delegation for your leadership, and of course the speaker. Thank you so much. This was a multi-year process to get the funds necessary to have what I consider to be the crown jewel of the public defender system, the office we're standing in now. What happened was year to year, if you don't spend the money, and we can tell stories about how many times that we looked for buildings and the deal fell through, or the situation, checked in with Allen Parish, thank you for being here, where it didn't work out. Every time, the legislature was with us. How many times did we go visit buildings around Lake Charles and say, maybe it could be this one or that one? Les and Troy were there every time. So were Mark Abraham, Mike Reese, Jeremy Stein, once he got to be on the Senate, was quickly came to join us. Philip Tarver, Rick Carrier, Brett Diamond, all came on these tours, helping us find a building. Eventually found this one. I want to thank Mr. Doré for selling it to us. It was a perfect timing, a perfect fit for us. So what this enabled us to do, instead of paying rent, we don't pay rent at all because the Calcasieu Parish Public Defender's Office, Harry Fontenot is the district defender, owns this building. And the Office of Workers' Comp pays rent to the Public Defender's Office. So we went from a situation where we were paying rent to now somebody pays rent to the Public Defenders. It is the biggest win in our system. And again, I can't thank the partnership enough between Public Defenders, the state of Louisiana, the Parish of Calcasieu, and the city of Lake Charles. All of them have worked together to get us here today. So I'm enormously proud of that. I know we're going to cut a ribbon on it here. And before we take it out there, I know Troy Romero had some words to say about the state's role in this.
So Philip DeValier is the Speaker of the House, and I'm going to speak on his behalf because he's losing his voice. But what Remy said was very important, because what we try to do constantly in the state is make investments that will pay back the state money, or pay back, help fund the Public Defender's Office in Calcasieu Parish. And that's what happened with this building. And we continue to look for buildings, and you can't just put that Public Defender's Office just anywhere. This building fit. It's downtown, it's close to the DA's, it's close to the courthouse, it's on the bus route so that people can get here freely without having to worry about finding a ride. And those are the things that we have to look at from the state standpoint. We didn't just do this building. There were 11, if I'm not mistaken, from that building fund, and we continue to strive to do that. Those 11 buildings we were paying rent on. We're not paying rent anymore. Now we own the buildings. And if we can come up with buildings like this where we can get an income from leasing the second floor, then that helps reduce the amount that the public defenders need from the general fund. So that's very important that everybody knows that. It's been a long time coming in Calcasieu Parish. And like I said, we looked at many buildings. This building is just fabulous. It's beautiful. It's unbelievable. It has great parking. All of the things that are necessary for a public defender's office. And I'm proud that we got to work with Ramey and all of the public defenders across the state. We will continue to make that dedication, and we're going to continue to do, not just with the public defenders, but all across the buildings that the state owns, to make sure that if they don't make money, they at least return an investment to the state. And I think that's what's important. It's the way state government and local government needs to work together to be able to make this state a better place to live in. That's really all I have. We're very proud of this building. Glad to be here representing the Southwest delegation. Obviously, there's only 2 of us here today, but the 3 senators were out of town. Jeremy was just getting back into town, and he apologized he couldn't be here. So we speak on their behalf, as well as our other representatives that represent this area. And I think we failed to mention Ryan Boriak. And Ryan is a big part of this as well. Les, you have something you'd like to say?
Yeah, you know what, it's amazing. You know, the good Lord puts us in a lot of good places at a lot of times, and we were this close to being in a different building. If the contract hadn't have fallen through on the very last moment, we'd be all the way across town in a completely different environment with a lot of hurdles that we'd have to cross with logistics of how you operate the building. And you know, push the schedule back a little bit, and here we are today with probably the most extraordinary circumstances that you could hope for, and so proud to be a part of this.
Thank you, sir. That's right. So is it time to do the ribbon now?
Ribbon, we have 3 for our district defenders here. My predecessors, I'm like, Tom. There's a Hall of Fame, Tom will be in, Tom Gorey. Mitch. And Judge Ware.
What you over there?
These are who I learned from.
Thank y'all for being here. Judge, I didn't see you.
And I'd like to introduce my staff. That is the most important thing about this building. Not me, not Mitch, these people right here.